Hi there. Good morning, and I'm going to be talking today a little bit about body dysphoria and spiritual experience of healing of that, and how it happens within my individual process, and also how it's been happening in and through relationship. So, to give a brief update to those who haven't watched my other videos, I am 42 years old in this body, and I have been receiving testosterone injections now for about 10 months. And because the process was one in which I was allowing it to evolve slowly, not only to meet my own needs, but to meet the needs of my daughter, who's young. She's 10. And the process of transitioning has been one in which she's been very much a partner in that, so that her sense of safety and security isn't rattled by the changes that I'm undergoing. So, my dosage started out fairly small and low and infrequent. We were injecting once a month, about 50 milligrams, which is generally about half of the normal dosage. And so outer changes were slow and deliberately so. And then in the past 4.5 or 5 months, that's changed, and I now receive the full 100 milligrams every 2 weeks. And that has certainly accelerated outer change. I've been seeing the beginning of facial hair. I've been seeing what is now the second drop in my voice and its range, and I'm beginning to see a little bit of development of some body hair, which is something I'm not likely to see too much of due to genetics. Those patterns of hairiness among the men in my family were pale-skinned Irish guys, and we just don't get that hairy, and that's fine. So that's kind of encapsulating what's been developing. I am pre-op, so there's been no surgeries, but I have been presenting and living my life full-time in the masculine for about a year, more than a year and a half now. And almost everyone has come over, has come on board with that, and I have a very supportive community. And so what is new is that I am in relationship. And really, aside from a brief period of trying to build a relationship that was somewhat experimental and innovative and a curiosity, because that individual was also transgender and had transitioned from male to female, and if felt at first like that would be potentially a very good fit for us both, not only understanding the nuances of transition, biologically, psychologically, emotionally, but that we also would have compassion for one another, and the ability to recognize the wholeness of a process that seems fragmented until you feel settled in your own body and with someone else. And in that relationship, which did not work out, more for personal, emotional, spiritual reasons, as well as how we were and were not compatible in the body and with our expression through the body. And it was beautiful what we experienced together, but it was not made to last. And so it's beautiful, and I have gratitude, and I release it. What I experienced in that of body dysphoria, it actually was more acute because this person had transitioned and gone in the other direction. than I think I would have felt if she had been, a cisgender. And that was curious to me. I didn't expect that. Quite the opposite. But I think that her imprint of the feminine aspects of my body that still remain were disturbing to her. And I didn't feel that may or may not have been true. I don't want to project that, but I sense that partly might have been true. And for me, I very much felt like I wasn't comfortable in my own skin, and allowing myself to be seen in any way that would allow that kind of imprinting to happen. Where, well, if you have a a feminine chest rather than a masculine chest, that certainly impacts the ability to have intimacy with someone who's reading you on one level as male, but is seeing you with their eyes and feeling you through their body as something not male. And that in that particular partnership was generating a lot of frustration for me, as well as a kind of incompatibility of levels of passion and desire and wanting to express it. This is someone who was confessed to themselves that they were asexual, very asexual, and I'm not at all that. I'm a very sexual being and need and want to have that in partnership with somebody. So this new relationship, which is really not that new, it's been an incredible blessing to have realized after several years of being in a intensely honest, fun, dynamic, alive, spiritually aware friendship with someone. It finally occurred to both of us that there was something else going on there, and we opened the door. And what we found is breathtakingly beautiful. And we are both feeling so alive and transcendent and grounded at the same time. And our ability to presence with one another on all kinds of levels is unprecedented in my experience. And I take it as very rare in other people's. This is someone who is capable of seeing, with a capital S, seeing me, who I am, beyond, through and beyond the sort of veil of my physical presentation. And she is capable of experiencing my body through other vehicles of self, so physical body, and then the kind of sheath of our spirit, the astral body, and then the vehicle of consciousness. And she can and does experience the wholeness, the holistic quality of my complete masculine self. And that's felt at a physical level for her, just as I experience her all through my vehicles, including my physical body. And we have a beautiful capacity to experience union in that way. What that has done for me is it confirmed and it reaffirmed an energy I was already embracing the very day that we had our communications in which we both recognized one another and understood what our true relation is. that morning I had posted some music videos on my Facebook page, and I had woken up feeling like I had embraced fully. I'd stepped over the threshold completely into embracing my full masculine energy. And I owned it, and I was it, and it was running through my body and generating this incredible vitality. And and I felt almost ready to burst out of my body with the force of just being. And she, throughout the course of the day, had made a comment about this, saying, and she used almost exactly the same language. You've really stepped into your masculine power. And later that night, we were communicating, and the conversation turned towards my fears and insecurities about allowing myself full expression of my sexuality, carrying shame, and also carrying fear of rejection. Shame because I've only known role models in my life. In the the male role models in my life have all been dysfunctional, addicted to one substance or another, or one thing or another. Sometimes violent, sometimes simply detached, so detached that there's no real, intimacy possible with another person. Sometimes absent, and what I have carried in myself and been afraid of until recently is this sort of out of control, lustful, greedy, grasping, possessive sort of passion that men can have. A sort of predatory energy that feeds on a woman's beauty and passion, and so that was the shame component, and then the fear had much more to do with my own body as it is in this moment. That on the one hand, I feel energetically complete in my masculinity, but my body itself is not completely transformed and is not at a place where I feel like I've really settled into it enough to be able to express completely the way that I want to and need to and I'm meant to. It's a fearful thing to be able to open that to somebody. And both of those are in the giving and receiving. The shame can have its healing and its resolution via the giving, to have permission to offer and to be received is the healing of that shame energy. That, as she said to me, I think you've waited a long time to realize that you're not doing anything wrong with your sexuality, which is true. It is very, very true. And then on the other side of it, the healing of the fear is in receiving, in allowing someone to allowing someone in, allowing someone to feel that energy in me, allowing someone to even not just experience my being through the currents of sexuality and intimacy, but also to drop the defenses that keep the body itself covered and veiled, and that experience of our union, which is both metaphysical and absolutely physical, grounded in the body at its most core substance. To cultivate a lovemaking that is about feeling desire and passion, as well as this very, sacred, transcendent union. Again, very rare, but that we merge on all of those levels has created for me a space in which that energy that I was already embracing, that I had stepped forward into and really claimed, then her love and her attention and her regard and her capacity to relate to me as I am. And so that means as I am in my physical body at this very moment, complete or not, with surgeries and hormone therapy and anything else is manipulating the form in order to transform it to be my home, my temple. And it also means the as I am in that higher plane, which is already complete and which is already expressing the fullness of who I am and my potency and my vitality and the fullness of expression. So that space, then, I can stand there with the conviction and the determination that I'd already grabbed and owned. And it provides me with a place to then minutely examine my own body, my physical body. And what's happening are several things. There's the mind over matter of physical transformation. And I'm sure that many other people have experienced this, but I don't hear it talked about very much. And this is the place where the mental projection, the thoughts that we are embracing about ourselves and in coming into our masculinity or femininity, if you're transitioning in the other direction, the thoughts that we're also putting out, that we're projecting out about that, does something to the very fiber of our beings. It affects the matter of our bodies. And I have seen many things change in myself over the course of the past year and a half that have nothing to do with receiving the testosterone injections and that have nothing to do with what's being done to the body, but it's rather emerging from within the body due to the impetus, the intention being set forth by my spirit and by my mind. And I've seen my face change in very radical ways. I've seen my body change in radical ways. Even my hairline is changing all the time. And some of that, kind of trying to determine what is being affected by the testosterone versus what is happening because of spirit can be a little tricky. But now I feel like I've learned to be able to tell the difference. And just in the past week or so, as this new layer of relationship has opened up with this being, I've seen even more rapid and more radical change. I've also seen that my own acceptance of myself at a fundamental level, which allowed me to be able to say yes with this person to opening the door of intimacy and radical intimacy. And that word really is the power word today, radical, because this is, it wasn't just, oh, I love you, and I'm opening my heart to you, even though that's profound enough. It wasn't just, let me embrace your body and let me touch your body and exchange sexual intimacy with you. And that's profound enough in and of itself too. But it is it's an intimacy of the whole being, everything, my past, my present, the horizon on the future, my mind, my heart, my spirit, the constructs of my beliefs. It's all of me and it's all of her. And so this has then created a place for us both to be able to really use the mirror of one another and actually see who we are. And that's very important to articulate that way, because it's not that. Sorry for the noise. It's a very important thing to articulate, because it's not that she has given me this gift or she has provided this, just like I have not given it to her or provided it for her. Rather, we have opened it for and with each other. And there's and it's a feedback. So what is already within us of seeing ourselves in our wholeness is then constantly given affirming feedback. And so in relation to body dysphoria, what I experience more and more is that I stop even being able to register my body as anything other than what it is already at one level of my being, and what it will become when the surgeries are complete. And so there's already I'm settling into a relationship with my own body that is stable and healthy and clear and uncomplicated. It's very much, I'd have to articulate it in this way. It's being able to presence my awareness, to put my thoughts in a place of the what will be and the as if it were already done. And to really live through the acceptance of whatever's happening with my physical body at this moment, without dreading it, without hating it, without being uncomfortable with it. And that is something I've never experienced before. And the meditation that brings me to that place is the communal one with my love. It's also the concentrated determination to own, to claim, and to embrace the energy that's mine inherently, that is cannot not to be, that is always there. And so I look into that place, which isn't really out there, but it feels like it's out there. It doesn't feel like it's in here until we really fully have claimed it and brought it into our bodies. And so that's what I have been experiencing, and I frame that as a kind of resolution of the body dysphoria for me. I'm sorry. And the benefit of being in a relationship through that is that there is a counterpoint. There's someone providing a corresponding cadence and a harmony to my own kind of composition of self, and the love that we share in this unconditional sort of love that's shaping itself and disciplining itself is allowing us both to stabilize there and remain constant to it, because the gift of love, such a love, is that whatever you seem to be is never you. And that's true of anybody, anywhere. If you can view someone unconditionally and you can love them unconditionally, whatever it is that they seem to be, either it's their body, their mind, their emotions, their habits, their whatever, that's not really them. And you really begin to see the fullness of who they actually are. And if you're already doing the work that allows you to embrace that for yourself and provide yourself with that own lens, then the vision of the one that loves you, the vision of the beloved, and the power of their regard allows you then the safest place in which you can look around and explore and manifest more, or sift through things that may or may not be yours to hold on to or embrace. So I'm very pleased to be able to say that I have such an orientation for myself. I'm also immensely pleased to be able to say that I have that with another being. And I celebrate it, and I'm so immensely grateful for it. I almost fall on my knees and thank God for it, thank the divine for it, thank Spirit for it. And but I feel that even without relationship with another person, that this looking forward, being that for yourself, embracing that sense of the beloved regarding you within your own consciousness is really the foundational step. And it's the one thing that we can do for ourselves, to kind of bump ourselves into this position of witnessing ourselves and loving ourselves with the same kind of regard, that I see you as complete, and nothing is incomplete in this moment. And to keep embracing that allows us then to pick apart the thingliness of our bodies, which can be incredibly dissatisfying, frustrating, enraging, grief-inducing. There's an agony in that, to exist within the framework of body dysphoria, because nothing seems to be able to take it away unless and until you've taken the steps that define for you when you are complete, when you feel that settled energy. And I believe with everything that I am, there's a way to do inner work that allows us to get there before the outer conditions are met. And that's what I'm choosing to take on and experiment with and struggle with. And I hope that this offering is helpful to some, and that it speaks to some, and that it begins an inner dialogue and perhaps also begins outer dialogue. So I'm gonna end this now and do my thing with it and post it, and more and more of the videos are going to be like this, where I dropped out for a while and stopped making the videos as I'd gone through a very intense purification of some spiritual ego and trying to make sense of my own process. I knew what I felt, and I felt like it was valuable, but I didn't know how to bring it out properly and express it. And now I feel like the guidance has come where, just like many of us, we give our own stories. And how powerful is that storytelling, to say, this is my journey, and it might resonate with you because it's yours too. And for those among my brothers and sisters in the transgender community, I want to be able to offer that spiritual perspective, that another layer of the emotional perspective, because I think it's a very, it's a deeply neglected area of our journey. And I only see a few people who are really talking about that, the transformation, and the challenges and the triumphs of it on that level. And so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So again, thank you for watching, And please do share widely if it's something that's valuable for you and you think it might be valuable to others. And do like and do subscribe. Thank you. And I'd love to connect with people who feel like they're resonating with this message. It's good to be able to build community. And so, thank you. I'm Ardena, and have a beautiful and blessed day.